Hey, I'm Taylor, and today I'll be teaching you how to make ambient chill out here on Sonic Academy. In this series, we're going to slow things down a little bit and dig into the sounds that make chill out music so special. Lush pads, evolving textures, deep bass, subtle rhythms, and all those little details that give a track atmosphere. I'll be taking you through how I approach sound design, arrangement, and mixing, and show you some simple ways to make your music feel wide, spacious, and emotional. The goal here isn't to build a track, it's to create a vibe, something that we can really get lost in. So let's dive into Ableton and take a listen to what we're going to be working on today. So for our main pad, let's use Anna 2. And I'm just going to initialize this for now, and turn it down so it doesn't blast us away. Great. Let's just add a MIDI clip in here. And let's just activate scale mode, so that our piano roll is only showing us notes that are in the key that we're working in. Let's explore a couple different chords. Something that sounds really good for really lush pads. Something dense like a major 9 might sound really good. So there we've got a 7, then we can add in the 9. And then let's add an F sharp underneath that. So that's really clustery and thick. I think we're going to go with that. And then let's just use 2 chords for the purposes of this track. So we've got this major 9 over an F sharp. Let's have our second note be an 11, a minor 11, which can also be a really like emotional chord there. We're going to have C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. And then let's put that over a G sharp. So we've got a major 9 here over F sharp, and then we have E flat 11 over an A flat. And that's really all we're going to use as far as chords. We can keep things really simple and repetitive. So let's dive back into Anna and let's turn this into like a really lush pad. So we'll start with our first oscillator and let's choose something like Sign Off. This is great. It's a sine, but it's got a little bit of shaping to it, so there's a little bit more harmonic content to this. It's not just a pure sine wave. And then let's add a low pass. And we can just give a little bit of envelope here with a really long attack. Let's add a lot of attack to our amplitude envelope. Let's turn this to analog. I really like these analog envelopes. Make sure our Polyphony is turned up. Let's just take that all the way up for now. And then we can add a little bit of drift to this. Choose filter master frequency over here in our LFO, And let's change the shape to a triangle. And then let's inject just a small amount of noise. So let's take like the Juno Chorus 1 noise. Let's just turn our output volume down a little bit here. So this is feeling pretty good. Let's start playing with it a little bit more. I'm going to grab VELA. And let's take this, let's straighten out this decay a little bit. Turn that up to maybe 8 seconds. We'll make our output 0. We'll turn our dry wet down to about 50%. For the early reflections, let's stick with Cathedral again. We'll turn that down a little bit. And one of the things I really like about VELA is it has this different seed control, and you can just randomize this a few times, and that gives you like a little bit different texture, a little bit different sounding reverb. It's really fun because you can create a unique reverb that nobody else has. There's like an infinite amount of different possibilities we can create within VELA. So let's just hit that a few times and get something that's fresh and it's unique, and this is like our own personal little reverb that nobody else has. For our density, let's ramp up the density relatively quickly. So we'll just add a point here. We'll turn that filter up so we get this nice bright reverb. I think we can slow our modulation speed down a little bit, but we can turn the amount up. Now let's grab a couple of delays. So we're going to grab 2 delays here. I'm just going to switch the mode to fade just for our own listening while we're working on it. And we're going to do 2 on the first one, and 4 on the second one. We can back down the dry wet on both of these. And let's turn ping pong on both of these as well. And what we can do is we can play with these filters. And then if we want to get really fancy, what we can do is we can group these. And then we can actually throw them into different chains. So if we set up the dry wet to be equal in both of these, then we turn them down by 6 decibels. Now we have sort of our low frequencies delay and our high frequencies delay. It's not truly split, it's still duplicating the signal because we have our dry wet at 50%. But this is kind of a unique effect where the delays are sounding different. They're affecting the low end differently than they're affecting the high end. And let's just do that trick I like where we just offset the left and right a little bit. We just take them out of sync just a little bit. Now we're going to grab hybrid again, and we're going to move over to algorithm and Shimmer again. This is a great Shimmer reverb that's included within Ableton. So I'm turning the dampening down a little bit. We can leave the decay here, or in this range of about 3 seconds. If we get too long, we get these really beautiful swells, but they can kind of just extend forever and it gets too much. It's just over the top, so we'll take it down to about 3 seconds. And then if we want to warm this up a little bit, let's add some tape saturation. And so Roar has a great little preset that we can grab called tape saturation. We can roll off the high end a little bit, maybe back down on the dry wet. And then let's grab dynamic tube as well. We'll go to C mode. We'll darken the tone just a little bit. Just give it a little bit of drive. Again, we can back off on the dry wet. We're just kind of warming it up. This is really subtle. If I group these, I'll turn them on and off. So apart from the fact that it is louder with these on, it just adds like a little bit of analog warmth to the whole signal. We can also grab an EQ. And let's just control these highs a little bit. Let's scoop the mids. And then very subtly cut these lows out as well. We don't want to eat away too much of the lows because there's some nice warmth down there. But about 80 hertz, anything below that for this sound is going to be kind of useless. And we could leave it as it is now, or we could add a little bit more character to this. When working on a pad like this, the possibilities really are infinite. We could add as much or as little as we want, and different modulation things, choruses, different kinds of fun plugins and effects there's so much stuff out there, and this type of music is great for experimentation. So I think it'd be fun to throw an ensemble on this, or a chorus. That ensemble's nice. We'll turn the dry wet down, add a little bit of warmth. And another thing we can do is we can grab an autofilter here. And we can change our wave to wander. And then just for listening purposes, let's turn the amount up to 100%. And it'll just sort of randomly wander around. So let's turn that way up. And then let's take that LFO amount down. And this is just creating sort of instability, what would sound like an unstable filter on an analog synth. Just a hint of it. We just kind of want this to be moving a little bit. Very minor amount of that. So now that we have our main pad developed, let's add an arpeggio next.